With us is a glimpse into the lives of women, many like us, who juggle multiple roles, but unfortunately in the cycle of day in and day out of fulfilling their duties as mothers. And there are a few questions that I think we all would like answers to, especially from our expert panel. So let's get straight to our first question. Now, we all know that women ignore their health needs, but do they actually realize and acknowledge the same? Can we start with you, Sairi? What do you think?
I do feel women are last on their own list, almost every one of us, and things take turns. If something happens, then we, make a course correction. Yes. But if you ask a normal person, if you ask a normal average Indian housewife, average Indian professional, no.
Okay, and do you think that we realize this and still continue to do the same? Or does it not even strike us?
Well, subconsciously we know that we're not doing enough, but we just fail to prioritize. We just fail to prioritize our own health and scheme of things, and we always find other things to put up on the charts, kids, finances, travel, parents, family, work. Everything comes first except our own health. And we all do this, cutting back on our sleep, cutting back on our diet, not eating well, not exercising. The list is endless.
Okay. Sonali, let's ask you. You've been in great shape, thank God, touch wood. You've done and juggled multiple roles. What do you think, does the contemporary Indian woman realize that health plays a big part and yet we continue to ignore it?
Shruti, I can say about myself, and that is, you said I'm in great shape, which is what it looks like. Not really, because I think shape is also about being fit, and yes, which I think I have a long way to go. Okay. It's not about being thin, so that's not the thing. I had great metabolism, it lasted me for a while, never went to the gym, but I keep saying that's a regret that I have. I should have paid more attention. Yes. And like I now keep saying, muscles are my best friends. I have to keep telling myself that I need to love them because I don't have them and I need to work on them. So again, like you said, and I agree with Sairi, it was when I had my child, yes, and all my old injuries. I don't think anybody really knows it, but most of my career I've danced on one leg literally because I had had a knee surgery, never went through my physiotherapy and kept working through it all, thinking I'm invincible. I was, till it came to a point where I had the baby, and then suddenly I felt like my joints were jellies. And I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. My hormones were all over, and this was happening to me. So suddenly I was so totally out of control, where my body was concerned, where my health was concerned. And that was a wake-up call. And I had to literally restart physiotherapy, learn to walk again, stand again in the correct posture, because that's so important and we don't give it importance. Yes. We think it's the most normal thing. And like she said, it was when this happened to me that it was a wake-up call, and I said, oh my God, I need to pay attention to myself. And that's when I started paying attention. And I feel I did leave it a little late in life. I should have done it earlier.
Okay, well, like we can all just hope that none of us end up ignoring it long enough, yeah, for it to become irreversible. Talking about the next point, since we have some amazing experts with us here, why do women end up ignoring their health, and what kind of challenges does that pose for their health in the future? Let's start with you, Dr. Pai.
Emotionally, hormonally. So you start with a young girl who's just starting menstruation, how her body changes when she starts menstruating. And then her whole youth, she goes through so many changes. She may have bleeding issues. She may develop hormonal problems. Nowadays, polycystic ovarian syndrome, yes, is so common. Thyroid issues are common. Young girls today are so sedentary. They're studying all the time, or they're in front of the computer all the time. So physical inactivity. A lot of girls put on weight at this time. I see so many young girls, like on an average, every single day, 1/3 of my clinic will be full of young girls coming with obesity, acne, facial hair, weight gain, period irregularities. So many problems which young girls face. And then this young girl, who's not really in perfect shape, goes on to get older, get married, have her children, completely unprepared. practically nobody comes to me prior to their pregnancy saying that we want preconception advice. How should we change our diet? How should we change our lifestyle? Nothing. They just go become pregnant. And then through their pregnancy, they come for some, care. After which, then, they're having the babies, they're running around, they are on least priority for themselves because children are important. As they grow older, 30s and 40s, so many problems, physical problems, they develop fibroids, endometriosis, diseases, bleeding problems, and all of this is neglected because, children are growing up and husband's busy. So everything is, prioritized except them. And then perimenopause, menopause, for which they go in completely unprepared. So unfortunately, the woman is completely unprepared at every phase of her life. And she's receiving all kinds of, changes are happening, and she's not ready to fight any of them because she hasn't sorted herself out, she hasn't prioritized herself, she hasn't looked for help, she hasn't gone to anybody for, some kind of information or, counseling, nothing.
Been talking about themselves, and like Sonali said, that being in shape doesn't just mean being thin, it also means being fit. I'd like to pose a question to Pooja, who I think is a person who's instrumental, but with unrealistic goals and without any sort of personal commitments. Pooja, what do you think that women who ignore their health in their early years or even in their later stages?
Well, to begin with, I think when it comes to the diet or the meal plan for the homemaker or the mother or the woman herself for the home, I think there's just so much that she tries to juggle with having a different diet for her kids, which is very different from what her lean, fit or overweight husband needs and what her diabetic or cardiovascular diseased father-in-law or mother-in-law need, that what should be her particular diet and what should she be eating is never given a second thought. Whether it was the remnants of the bachcha's tiffin that became her lunch, or it was I don't want to waste food, so it was last night's meal that was her lunch. I think we all come with so much on our plate that there's really not much nutrition we keep on our plate. We try to manage so many different roles and make sure that my child eats her 2 fruits of the day. I don't know how many women actually check whether did they eat the 2 fruits of the day. So I guess, as doctor said, it starts very nascent when they are younger because nutrition was never given the importance. But as our world has now become a media for social exposure, and every woman or every person has become a celebrity in their own right, and all of us have faces and facets to show about where we are and what we are eating and what we wear and where we party, that now everyone has suddenly woken up to say, hey, I better look good. Yes. As Sonali really clearly pointed out, looking good or looking thin is not healthy. I can lose weight and lose all my health with it.
Yes.
Or I can say I can do it the right way. But as a shortcut, and to those who have no time to manage what they need to eat because they have just so many things that they're otherwise juggling with, they do it ignoring health. So I think it's a cumulative role and a cumulative process that starts from the teenage years of ignorance, builds up to getting married and running on honeymoons, losing weight to wear that chanya choli and then wear the bikini on your honeymoon, and then it all creeping in, using pregnancy as a disguise to say I crave X and I crave Y. And then it all hits you later when you have ignored yourself, and really, as she said, I love my muscle. Most women wake up when they have just so much body fat that their metabolic rate is down and under. So that's what hits it, and once it hits is when So I guess nurturing and educating about food, nutrition, and importance of balancing the act of life and food is something that I think we are really taught to do a lot. I think as a child we are taught like how to be a good sister, how to be a good daughter, how to be a good wife, how to be a good daughter-in-law. But I don't think we're ever taught our relationship with food.
Yes.
Never taught what the proteins do for you, how essential the carbs are for you, what are the vitamins, where's the glow, where's the skin, how's the hair. Those are integral relationships with food. And if that is not taught, we stumble.
Yes.
And I'm not saying others, I would say everyone stumbles. Ignorant people as well as educated people. So people who have loaded fridges or people who have poor no food. It's not the question of availability, it's the question of ignorance or importance that has not perhaps been nurtured.
Okay. You know, talking about loving muscles, we should talk to Yasmin about that. You know, Yasmin, I shouldn't eat sugar or I shouldn't have dessert and I mustn't have a cola and I should be careful and blah. Exercise is something that almost a majority of women pay no heed to. They feel, okay, if we're eating right, then we're doing our part towards our health. Even if you're slightly inclined towards being fit, you'll probably focus on making sure that I'll eat my 2 fruits and I'll have my muesli and I'll do this and I'll have my milk, blah, blah, blah. But exercise, no, that's not necessary. I'm eating right. Do you think you face a lot of people like that?
Most definitely. I think most people relate exercise with men. And what Sonali said about muscle, when you talk to a woman about muscle, she's thinking she's suddenly going to start looking like Salman Khan or Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, you know, they don't understand that it's not, I mean, theirs is hypertrophy muscle, which is huge muscles which they require for the role. But muscle is very essential to your body because that's what makes your body composition, the amount of muscle and the amount of fat that you have in your body. And muscle is what protects your bones as you age.
Yes.
And most women, as they grow older, are more prone to being osteoporotic and, you know, get osteoporosis. And that is when muscle is what helps you, you know, which is what nourishes your bones. And muscle doesn't mean, like I said earlier, big bulging muscles. It's just muscles that your body requires in order for you to stay healthy and fit. And I do have women who come in because they know I've trained X, Y, and Z, and they want to train, and they'll say, but we don't want to do strength training. We don't want muscles. We don't want to look like a man. And, you know, I'm overweight, and all my fat will convert to muscle. And that's, I think I hear that almost every alternate day. My fat will convert to muscle. And fat cannot convert to muscle. They're very different. You can lose fat and you can build muscle. And you can build muscle so beautifully by just doing body weight exercises. And so for people who come to me with fear of, you know, building muscles, I introduce them just to simple squats, wall push-ups, you know, things that are very gentle on your body, and you're building muscle, and explain to them the importance, because women, as women, we are fabulous multitaskers.
Yes.
You know, ask us to play any role and we can play it. Absolutely. And ask us to look after ourselves and we look great in that dress or that little black dress. And like Sonali said, you know, jeans play a very, very important role with a lot of people. But as you grow older, time's going to catch up.
Yeah, that's
and I always tell my people who say, I eat anything, I don't do anything, but look at the way I look good, I feel great, why should I bother with my diet and exercise when I'm looking so good? And I'm like, well, dude, there is going to be a time when all these things won't help, and, you know, your my mother was really thin, and that's how I am, but, you know, after she had 2 babies, this is the way she's become overweight. I'm like, so you're going to tell me you're not going to have babies? And that's when your metabolism changes and you eat what you want and you crave what you want, and you don't exercise because pregnant women are not supposed to exercise, is the myth. But I think it's beautiful to exercise throughout your life, eat right, maintain the diet, you know, the balance. And, you know, if you're not getting enough nutrition, then find it from other sources.
Shouldn't take too much time and does not interfere with their professional and personal commitments, in your opinion?
I think just knowing that balance is a myth. We're never going to have a perfect day. So we might as well prioritize and be a little conscious about it and get all the help that we possibly can. Look at the amount.
Hydrate, very, very important. Many of us forget the importance of water. And a dehydrated body does not only look older, it feels slower, sluggish. So please make sure hydration is done well. And please, as much importance as you give the importance of food to the rest of the family, give a 5-minute thought to even what you're eating. Include fruits and vegetables. Drink a glass of vegetable juice. It's very good for the way you look and feel. And if there are needs or areas where it's a big myth that nutritional supplements make you gain weight and they're going to make you more hungry. It's not. It's very essential. Even for those, I would think that I do take care of what I eat. I still feel that a nutritional supplement is essential, and not taking one is not a good idea.
Thank you.
I think first of all, there's a little, I think certain amount of thinking needs to change. We as women are guilty about everything. First of all, we feel guilty when we are happy, when we are sad, when we are, for everything. The first emotion that we feel is guilt. And I think somewhere that's there in our society. We are brought up, our subconscious is that, we are brought up like that. And we need to kind of bust that myth. We need to kind of stop that. As women, we need to do that with daughters, with nieces, and the younger generation that's coming up. So for a small example, my mother wouldn't eat unless all her children had eaten, her husband had eaten, and everything. What would I do? First thing that I do is, before I run behind my son, I have my meal, because I'm irritable, I'm cranky. I'm prone to taking it out more on my husband and child because I'm irritable and cranky and hungry and my sugar levels are dropping. So it's better that I have my meal first, I'm happy, and I'm giving them more time. So understanding the fact that just by not having the meal before the rest of the family, you're not really helping. You're actually causing harm. So just small things like that, which sounds really, minute, but I think is a huge thing. Mindset, changing of mindset. And I agree with Pooja when she says that we need to bust few myths. One was where the workout is concerned, where nutrition is concerned, about nutrition supplements gaining weight. No, you need it. We don't know what we are eating now. The nutrition is changing. The things that we eat are so different. Definitely, our grandmothers and mothers ate things and survived, and so we should also. But we live in a different world. We really don't know what's going into the food and what is it exactly that we are getting. So getting the health checkups so that you understand what's going into your body, what is lacking, and then tackling it by adding supplements is the best way to do it. That's
Thank
what
you,
I would
Sonali.
say.
Yasmin?
So I have a very clear funda, and I like to tell everyone, be fit because you deserve it. And I think as women, all of us deserve to be fit because we are the ones who look after our families, and our husbands can do really well because we're there looking after the house and the kids, and our parents rely on us because, like, my kids are teenagers now, but now it's the worry about the parents getting older and their needs. So we're multitasking, and I think each of us deserve to be fit. And I have 5 very simple rules that I tell people, and one of them is move. We come from the animal kingdom, we are meant to move. Our lives are so sedentary now because we have cars, we have lifts, we have drivers, we have Gangabai getting us a glass of water, and we're not even moving to the fridge to bring our own glass of water. And all of us have mobile phones.
Yes.
And technology is wonderful. But when you talk to people, you can walk.
Yeah.
And I tell people, if you're not getting your exercise in the day, walk with your mobile phone so that you get moving, and you're not just sitting in one place and talking about different things, or how your kid was, throwing a tantrum in the night. Walk. That's the most easy thing to do. The second thing, like Pooja said, is hydrate. And most people forget to drink water. You ask a woman or even a man in the night how many glasses of water, and they can't account for it. And most of us go through our day without drinking water because we're so busy making sure our child is drinking water.
Yes.
And so hydrate. And when you're thirsty, your body's already dehydrating.
Yeah.
So don't wait till you're thirsty to drink water. Drink water before thirst strikes in. The third thing is eat smart. We all are smart, right? We make smart choices in life. And when it comes to food, why is it that we don't make smart choices? All it takes is planning your day in the morning, mentally thinking what you're going to eat through the day, and making sure it's available.
Yeah.
Most of us in urban societies have help. And it's not that difficult if you just take that 5 minutes to plan your meals. Breathe, again, like drinking water, a lot of people are so stressed that they don't deep breathe. And if you spend 5 minutes in the morning just focusing on breath, forget even 5 minutes, just say 3 ohms in a day.
Yeah.
And you can, get your breath, because not breathing leads to so many problems. Hypertension, and I find that even in the gym, there are so many people who work out, but do they really breathe with their workout? They don't, because they just want to work out and run off. And so take the time to breathe. And the last thing is your attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about your attitude. I have no time for this, I have no time for myself, I have no time, I'm so busy. But I can spend half an hour on the phone talking to my friend. So really, you do have time. And it's all your attitude. All it takes is to be positive and say, I can do this, and you will be able to do that. And like Pooja and Sonali said, food is so contaminated today. We don't know what pesticides are going in it. I, according to myself, eat a really, really healthy diet, but I eat my vegetables, I eat my fruits, but am I getting all my nutritions in? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, just taking a pure nutrition supplement is not a bad idea.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the lovely panelists. Can we please go towards their health?
Like I said before also, the first thing is that we all think we are eating healthy, we know what we are doing. You know what, my grandmother was really thin, really fit, she cooked for everybody, she did everything and she was absolutely fine. My mother did so much and she was absolutely fine, and that's what I eat, so I'm fine. I don't need anything else, I don't need to look at anything else. I can live my life exactly the way they did. But why is it that your grandmother, in spite of eating all the desserts that she was eating, was slim, fit, going in a different way? And why is it that your mother is a slightly bit more heavier than your grandmother, and you seem to be heading there much faster than your mother ever did? So there is a change, and we need to understand it, address it, and accept it.
Yes.
So there is a change. The nutrition is different. The food we are eating is different. We really don't know what's going into it. We can go completely anal, mad, whatever you can call it, and obsessive, and really not get to the bottom of it and understand exactly what we are eating. Or we can keep our sanity, understand that I'm not going to get everything through the food that I'm getting in the city that I live in or in the place that I live in.
Yes.
That's the way the society has changed, the trends have changed, the way you grow the food has changed. And that's a completely different topic of discussion which you can go on about. But what I can do while keeping my sanity, while having a life, is I can add a nutrition supplement,
Yes.
which will take care of all the things that are going to lack in my food.
Yes.
And that, I think, is the most important thing, and we all need to think about it. We say that about where my child is concerned also. Everybody says that, oh, I don't give my child all these, medication, and I don't. It's not like I want to over-medicate my child, or
Yes.
it's not like I want to over-medicate myself, but am I really getting it? I have to accept that fact that I'm not getting everything in today's day and age. My child is not going to get everything in today's day and age. So we have to supplement it. We do that with everything else. We do that. We read up more. The technology is changing. So suddenly today's woman is getting more and more aware and educating herself about using the phone, using WhatsApp,
Yes.
and using this. So why not about health? Why can't the needs and the nutrition and your health change? And why can't you accept that when you can accept about the world changing?
Yes.
And that's like a really minute point. Like I said, it's about the mindset. We need to change our mindsets.
Thank you. So we're here for a very exciting initiative. Shall we talk about that, or can we tell the audience? Okay, can we have the AV, please?
So we want to help women help themselves.
Okay.
And what we're really doing through this initiative is starting that conversation. Because we believe with the help of people like Sonali, Dr. Pai, and the eminent panelists we had here, and just with the multitude of women,
Yes.
this can become infectious.
Yes.
Right? Because once women realize and understand that their health is critical to the health of the family, to the health of the society, I think it will spread. One thing we know women are good at is women are good at recommending, right? They are very good.
Absolutely.
And women listen to other women.
Always.
So what we really want to do is, through this conversation, through this initiative of healthy conversations, reach out to about 2 million women across the country. That's our initiative. That's what we intend to do. To get them to start talking about their health and be.
We've had great panelists and
Yes.
who've discussed in their various ways what are the needs of today. I think Sairi here has a lovely site which gets the women together when they want to find various things to do, and you're getting online, you're figuring out how is it that I can earn the money, how is it that I can make that thing. Like Dr. Pai said, you need to look after your health. So all, Pooja, Yasmin, eminent personalities in their this thing. But now, everybody cannot get to Pooja or to
Yes.
Yasmin or, so you need something that's more, so what? If you cannot reach a nutritionist and if you don't have the time or, your family, whatever your constraints may be, and, women have a lot of them.
Yes.
We in India live in joint families. The whole mindset is so ingrained to change. So here is an initiative where all you technology savvy women, because we are all on mobiles, all you have to do is get onto something, put in your details and get the first step of your nutrition. You can have a conversation with nutritionists, you can have a healthy conversation, you can get your diet charts. Like I said, you get a consultation free.
Yes.
So at least it's a beginning where you begin to understand what is it that is being spoken about, what is new, what is different, what is it that I can do. And this can be done from your home when your child is in school, your mother-in-law is busy with something else, and your husband is busy at office, and you can put in and do it in that 5 minutes. They're very easy steps. I'm sure we will show it to you
Yes.
how it is to be done. Very easy, very, very user-friendly. And it is something, like I said, it's not something that every woman is not going to be able to pick herself up and go and find the nutritionist or find the fitness trainer. It's not done. We can say it should be done, but it cannot get done. The mindset is very different. This is something which is very doable.
Yes.
And that's the beauty, I think, of healthy conversations.
And just one quick question regarding this, Sonali. See, regular women, whether it's you, whether it's women who are in the media or, like Pooja said, everyone's now becoming a celebrity, everyone's become very conscious about the way they're looking. Yeah. They have the understanding of consulting an expert.
Yeah.
Why do you think a regular woman, how do we egg them on to take a consultation from an expert? Most women think, मुझे तो पता है क्या खाना है. मैं ही घर का खाना बनाती हूँ. Why should I have to go to an expert to find out what I should eat? How do we egg them to take that step?
Because like I said, world is changing, society is changing, your food is changing. And we really, first thing, like I said, through this you come to know how much the food is changing.
Yes.
We've all been talking about it. With a lot of women, I meet a lot of mothers who are aware, who know that things are changing. But how do I get the right information?
Yes.
See, right information is very, very important.
Absolutely.
And it's knowledge. And knowledge is more precious than anything else. And this is what this conversation is going to give you. It's going to give you knowledge on what is lacking. Where do you stand in your health quotient?
Yes.
What is it that, oh, you're good. You just need to keep this up. Is also a good thing to know.
Yeah.
And, oh, no, you're falling far behind. You need to really kind of get there. Or you're okay, you just need to do a little more. Whatever it is, it's good to know where you stand and what you need to do from there. Before, everything comes kind of crashing down and you're running up health bills in the hospitals, which are so expensive. It's better that you start preventing it, start taking care of yourself, and hence taking care of not only your family's health, but your financial health too.
Yeah, absolutely.
May I just add on to that?
Please.
So I think few themes we heard which allows very easy access to these experts. You need to type in a few of your details, take the health quotient, and depending on that, your customized diet chart will come in, and then if you need, then the next step comes in, where you want, you can have a consultation, right? And I think in today's world, especially for women, because they're multitasking so much, I think expert advice is really required. Because that can set you on the course.
Absolutely.
I mean, we heard from Yasmin. I mean, why do people go to Yasmin? She's an expert,
Yes.
right? And here, expert is at your fingertips. So that's using technology to bring convenience, which I think can be easily used without really taking too much time out.
If you could explain, I think it's a great idea if you could just tell them a little bit more about Liberate, because
Sure.
it just is a wonderful platform.
It is. So Liberate is a wonderful platform which actually talks on various issues concerned with health. It's very user-friendly. It's an app which can be downloaded on any smartphone. It's got a big panel at the back of nutritionists, health consultants, experts, which you can go out to and anyone can use it. It's extremely user-friendly, and which is why we really brought them on board.
Great. So I think it's Sonali, and maybe please have the logo